Don't be shy. I just wanna talk to you.
Back again. Well, I seem to be here all the time. Travel. Someone wanted me to talk to you a little about travel, and you have some questions for me.
First name.
My name is John.
Surname.
Is King.
What languages do you know?
Some people say I'm reasonably good at English. There's a couple of schools here that foolishly pay me to teach people English, but I seem to get away with it. I know American, which in my opinion is a totally different language to English. I know some Russian. Well, to be fair, I have what I call survival Russian.
I just wanna talk to you.
What countries did you visit?
Wow, that would be a very long list. I believe I've visited almost every country in Europe. Every country in Europe. Quite a few in Asia and Africa. North America, South America. So you could say I've been very fortunate and I am widely traveled. But some of the countries I have visited no longer exist. And some of the countries I hope it was not because of my visit. That would be a shame. But if you think of somewhere like Yugoslavia, I visited Yugoslavia when it was Yugoslavia. I've now visited Croatia. I've now visited Montenegro. These were not countries even on the map some years ago. I recently visited what's now called the Slovakian Republic. But before, of course, it was part of Czechoslovakia. So I think the number of countries I visit will keep going up because the countries keep changing.
Сейчас в мире официально насчитывается 191 страна. Столько государств входит в Организацию Объединенных Наций. В этом списке ООН нет стран, которые не признаны мировым сообществом. Их число постоянно колеблется и в последние годы составляет 10-11 государств.
I can tell you the places I like and dislike the most, which is perhaps dislike is unfair. The places that I like the most. I love Canada. Canada is such a big, open country with wonderful clean air. The environment in Canada is as good as anywhere in the world. The people are friendly. They're more English than American, even though they're very near to America. And it's just a wonderful place to go. If you could only visit one country in the world, visit Canada. Even before England. How about that? So there's an admission.
Канада занимает первое место в мире по уровню жизни.
I love Scotland. Okay, that's part of Britain, but of England, Scotland and Wales, the mountains in Scotland, the Highlands, are a wonderful place to visit. Just to stand there and breathe in the atmosphere and imagine how things had been in the past.
За последний год Шотландию посетили более 1 миллиона алкотуристов, любителей шотландского виски.
In Eastern Europe, I guess my favorite country would be Bulgaria. The people are nice, the food is nice, the pace of life is slow. The holiday part of the country around Varna and the coast is great. It's great entertainment. I've just had lots of good experiences in Bulgaria.
Путешествуя по Болгарии, всегда носите с собой мелкие монеты и туалетную бумагу. В общественных уборных ее нет.
Europe is pretty much of a muchness. Traveling through Europe, I can't say there's somewhere. There are little bits of each country that I enjoy, but nowhere that grabs me and says, come and live here for 6 months. I quite like Turkey. I can live in Turkey for a month or 2 at a time, sun, sea and sand, but not much more.
Собираясь в Турцию, запомните самые нужные выражения. Мерхабы и акшамлар. Привет, добрый вечер. Кызлара бира бедава. Девушкам пиво бесплатно.
Travel beyond Europe. I'm lucky in that I have family in Australia, which is a wonderful part of the world. Again, another big open expanse. New Zealand I have not visited, but is on my must-go-to list. They tell me that New Zealand is more English than England. It's like England 10 or 20 years ago. So there's one place I must visit. The United States is a place of, well, it is so big and so many things in one country. In the South, I like the South. The South is a slower pace of life, a more genteel style. I have no love of the big cities in the North. New York and Washington, I just find everyone's too busy to enjoy life. Everyone's too busy. They're missing life surely because they're in a hurry to get to tomorrow. Perhaps not a good explanation, but not somewhere I would particularly like to live.
В США один из самых любимых аттракционов – американские горки Top Thrill Dragster. Высота падения 140 метров, перегрузка шестикратная.
South America is wonderful, it's beautiful. My Spanish is very poor, sadly. But it would be a good place for people to visit. The most popular place for the English to holiday is Spain. It's fun. There's lots to do there. If you want a cheap holiday, it would be a good place to go from England.
В Испании едят поздно, завтракают в 2 часа дня, обедают в 10 вечера. У испанцев 53 официальных праздника, многие из которых длятся по несколько дней.
Where do I like the least? Where do I like the least? I think France is one country I've never felt comfortable in. The wine is good. Generally speaking, the food is overpriced and overrated. Sorry, any French people who are listening, but it's true. Sad, but true. I think they have built up the myth that French food, cuisine, is so good, and French life and style is so good that you expect so much that when you get there, there's only one thing that you can be, and that's disappointed.
Порция фуагра, гусиной печени под соусом, во французском ресторане стоит около $100.
If I did not want to go back to anywhere in the world, it would be an English city called Birmingham. They have a motorway system where several motorways join, and they call it Spaghetti Junction. And it is exactly that, like a bowl of spaghetti. You can spend 15 minutes in your car trying to find where you are. It is the most confusing place I have ever been anywhere in the world. So please, I don't want to go to Birmingham in England. Very nice. There are lots of variations. I have now become someone who does not have milk in his tea. Very un-English.
And lemon?
Sometimes lemon. Sometimes I now have lemon. In England, it is traditional to have milk and sugar in your tea. And if I was to return home now and have tea with my parents and not put milk into my tea, they would think it very strange.
Кулинарная визитка Таиланда – жареные насекомые, саранча, кузнечики, водяные тараканы, мучные и шелковичные черви. Японский деликатес – рыба фугу. Она содержит нервно-паралитический яд тетрадотоксин, который в 1200 раз сильнее цианистого калия. Традиционное перуанское блюдо – пачаманка. Мясо поросенка, морской свинки, цыпленка и ламы с овощами жарят 2 часа в земляной яме глубиной около 1 метра между 2 слоями раскаленных камней.
I am a very traditional meat and potatoes Englishman, which caused me a great problem the first time I came to a Russian-speaking part of the world. Nice hotel, nice service, everything was wonderful. Nice little restaurant. And very traditional food in England, steak and chips, which is a big piece of meat and fried potatoes. So I go to the restaurant. At this time, I had so little Russian. I knew hello, goodbye, thank you. That was it. Unfortunately, that was as much English as the waitress had. So we had a slight communication problem. But I was reasonably sure steak and chips was going to come my way. And it did. It was a piece of meat and a packet of potato chips. I wondered why she looked at me as if I was stupid when I ordered steak and chips. But of course, in England, chips are fried potatoes. In the Russian-speaking part of the world, it is what we call a packet of crisps. So there was my meat and a packet of crisps, which made for a very unusual meal, but it was one of my very early lessons in I need to learn Russian very quickly. I would like to be able to travel, but I don't want to travel on a package holiday. The idea of arriving somewhere and saying, this is your hotel, this is your swimming pool. I want to be able to go and see the little villages and tour and just be free. Sadly, in some countries, you are very restricted on what you can do.
Большинство европейских туристов не покупают турпакеты, куда входят перелеты, отели, питание, экскурсии и прочее. В целях экономии они сами ищут путевки через интернет или арендуют частные апартаменты.
I actually went on a package holiday, something I do very rarely, but a group of friends, we went to Tunisia, and you stay in a hotel, you arrive there. And the English are very, as we've spoken, independent. We like to go off and do our own things in our own way. At the same hotel, there was a party of Germans staying, and it made me understand how different the English are to the Germans. There is a Zouk, which is a big market. It's a bazaar type market. And as a group of English, we arrive off of our bus and we wander around, we go in different directions and we do whatever we want to do. A couple of minutes later, the same Germans arrived from the same hotel. We just happened to recognize some of them. They have a very different way of doing things. They all get off the bus and they have a leader of the group with a clipboard, very official. And the leader of the group would walk through the Zouk, up and down, holding a clipboard in the air for all the Germans to see. And the Germans religiously marched behind this person, up and down, very regimented. And we thought it was hilarious. We thought it was something that would come out of a comedy film. It was staged or something. But no, that is the way they do things. They're tour companies. When you go somewhere, you have your representative and you follow them. It doesn't matter where they go, you follow them. Whereas the English, we arrive and we just disappear. People all over the world are basically the same. If you put one person with another person from anywhere in the world in a room, they will find something to talk about, something to share, something to enjoy. The problem becomes when you talk about groups of people, nations and politics, race, religion. If I meet someone, I may know them for 2 or 3 years. I may never know their religion. To me, the religion of someone, the race of someone, the color of someone is not important. There are good and bad people everywhere. I only want to know the good ones. I don't care what religion they are, what nationality they are. If you're a bad person, I don't want to know you wherever you come from. I have put all my things away. Oh. Well, it's been fun. I've certainly been to a lot of places. I'm hoping to go to some more. So maybe in the future I'll come back and tell you about them.
Be shy. I just wanna talk to you.